Total solutions for any mix, any volume. All managed by Panasim Enterprise Edition. Panasonic. Total solutions beyond SMT.
Welcome to the SEHO booth here at SMT Nuremberg. I'm delighted to be joined by Heike Schlesman. It's really nice to see you again, Heike.
Hi Trevor, thank you for coming by.
Good. So, always a lot of innovation on the SEHO booth, and we normally talk about selective soldering, but this time we're actually going to be talking about wave. You've got something new to share with us. Please tell us about your Select Flux.
Yeah, absolutely correct. We put a lot of innovations in our wave soldering system, starting from the fluxing process over the preheat process down to the soldering wave itself. Actually, the driving role played manufacturing of power electronics and also the high variety of products electronic manufacturings are see as a challenge today, the high variety of different products. So let's start at the fluxing process. You already mentioned that correctly. It's a complete new technique which was developed from us as part of a research project. It's based on a plasma process, and in this plasma process we bring flux powder selectively to the solder joints. So it's completely VOC free. We had the machine tested in the field and the results are absolutely convincing. Besides the VOC free process, we see a remarkable reduction of residues on the board, so the surfaces are absolutely clean. Also we see a reduction of costs because we bring on the flux powder selectively. And also from the process point of view, we also see a improved solderability actually of overaged surfaces.
Right, that's interesting. So basically it's firing the powder through the nozzle and heating it at the same time at each solder joint location. So the XY table is moving the board into position for this to happen. Now, flux is a very messy business. Is it using the powder? Is that a much cleaner operation process-wise?
Absolutely, you don't have to clean the boards afterwards. Also from a handling point of view, the solvent-based fluxes, they are considered as hazardous material. Means you have to take special care about storage and also transportation, which is absolutely not necessary for the flux powder.
Right, excellent. So no cleaning required at all because you're being so selective at where you're fluxing. That's going to obviously be a very fast ROI on that on the fluxer unit, I would think. So let's talk about the rest of the process. I believe you've got some other innovations in the wave soldering machine itself.
That's right. So, for example, electronic manufacturings, they have to cope with high variety of production boards, and they have to be very flexible in their machines. We developed for those applications a new preheat system, which is based on a new infrared fast responding heaters. Virtually, you can program each of those heaters individually, so that they are virtually moving with the board within the process area. So you can bring the heat very targeted to particular areas on the board. And that makes it actually possible to produce high volumes, but at the same time, with the same cost efficiency, go down to a lot size of 1.
Right. So if your preheater is basically moving with the board, so you're lighting the lamps up quickly, and then cooling them down. So I presume there's power savings in that as well, and other benefits.
Yeah, it's based, of course, you have to monitor the process, means the PCB needs to be monitored throughout the entire machine. So that's something like that is working, and it works perfectly actually. We see very good temperature profile in the preheat process, and it's very cost efficient.
Now, when it gets to the wave itself, you've made some changes into the pot system. What have we done there?
Yeah, we also did something there. We all know from selective soldering processes the electromagnetic pump systems, which are of advantage, for example, in terms of maintainability. Only need very few maintenance. There are no wearing parts on those electromagnetic pump systems, and for the first time, we included that now in a normal standard wave soldering process, together with a customer who is one of the major EMS companies here in Germany. We tested the system and developed a dual solder pot, actually, where we have two separate solder pot sections, which can be which can be programmed with individual temperature, and also can be filled with different solder materials, different solder alloys.
You could have lead-free and tin lead.
For example, yes, exactly.
And of course, if you're using the electromagnetic pump, there's no impellers in there or anything that can get messed up.
Exactly. So low maintenance requirements, and for example, or one of the major reasons is you can make product changes only without seconds. You don't have to interrupt the production process. Just by programming a new board, you have product changes. Very easy.
Well, quite a lot of changes there to your wave soldering process. And now, wave soldering is still about 50% of everything you produce. I mean, it's not gone away because everybody's been talking about selective soldering all these years, but it's still a big part of your business.
Yes, definitely. There are, of course, there's a very good increase in the selective soldering area, but there are still many applications out there for wave soldering, for classical wave soldering productions, like power electronics, for example. So, still good.
Well, Heike, always glad to see you, and nice to see the innovation continuing here at SEHO. So, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Trevor.